Bonjour, and welcome to the Best of the Rest podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sticks.
I'm Fraser.
And this is our podcast about Formula One stuff.
Formula One stuff.
Bits and pieces. Just had to chuck in a little bonjour there for our listeners in France. We appreciate you.
But now, what about our other countries that we don't know how to say hello in?
I'll work on it. It's a work in progress.
I know konnichiwa for our Japanese listener or listeners. There's at least one.
But yeah, we appreciate our listeners in France. Hope you tuned into this one and love it.
Oh, no.
All right, today's episode.
Yes.
The F1 75 event, is that what they were calling it?
Yeah, I think so. At the O2, F1 75, livery reveal, car reveal, something or other.
Schmozzle of piss take and slight awkwardness, but also a few good jokes.
So I haven't seen too much except for a few little highlights, and looks like there's some funny bits, but I think overall people were probably a bit disappointed.
I think if you took that event too seriously, like if there wasn't a host that was taking the piss and having a laugh and saying things that most people are thinking, it'd be probably more cringe.
Look, I don't mind it. I don't mind getting all the teams and cars and getting them there, and everyone's going on about it's just money making and they just want to see cars going around on track. But when else does it give the opportunity for a arena, or I don't even know what the O2 is, so it's called an arena, filled with people to view these cars and have the theatrics and all that as well? Like, I don't think it's a bad idea.
It'll be interesting to see what happens the second time around with old mate having a laugh, whether that was accepted or not. But I mean, I love having a laugh, and that was right up my alley. Good bit of banter.
Yeah.
But yeah, not bad.
He was getting into it. Jack Whitehall, I've never actually really heard of him before. I'm not sure if he's involved in other parts of Formula One or if he's more just a...
No, he's a comedian.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think in the UK he's a big-time comedian. He's got comedy specials on Netflix, and I've listened to a few podcasts where he's been a guest, but, you know, none of his stuff's really tickled my fancy before.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah, he did an alright job. So, today's pod, we thought we'd review deliveries.
Yes.
Give our expert opinions on whether we thought they were hot or not, and go from there. Spoiler alert, there were a few stinkers.
Yeah, there's a few there that I didn't like so much. A few there that I maybe more almost loved.
Oh, loved. It's a strong word.
It's not far off.
All right, so let's kick off. What are we going to do? Reverse constructors, the same way they brought them out on stage? Or?
Yeah, reverse constructors of last year's finishing order.
Right. Fire away, Fraser. What do you think of this green machine?
So to kick us off, we've got the Sauber. My rating's a 4 out of 10.
I too have gone a 4 out of 10.
Right.
It's green and it's black. My first thought was it's better than last year.
Yeah. But
then my second thought that popped in soon after was it looks like a preset livery design from the Formula One game.
Well, my very first thought when I saw it was I looked towards the cockpit and the airbox and I thought, oh, a bit of a green fade. Oh, this could be cool. Looked at the rest of the car and then realised that it was just a carbon car with a bit of Flow-Vis on it. They've put their fucking Flow-Vis paint on to do
now you say that.
To do their testing, and then they've gone, hey, there's our livery. We're not going to focus on this year. Fuck it. We're Audi next year.
Damn.
That's
exactly what they've done. They've gone, fuck it.
It's just Flow-Vis. They've put Flow-Vis on the front wing. It's blown up over the cockpit to the airbox, and that's it.
Yeah, right.
Slap their sponsors on.
They get no more airtime. That's enough from them. Fuck Sauber.
Oh, ouch. Wow.
Too harsh?
Could be. Well,
Williams.
let's lighten the mood, I think. We'll move on to Williams. And, well,
Slight change on last year. Different blue.
I liked it. I liked the blue. My rating is a 9 out of 10.
Oh, damn.
Yep. So I'm a big
Blue man.
blue colour fan. So, it was probably always going to kind of appeal to me. But yeah, I just kind of love the way they kind of worked with the two blues, and that kind of more medium, lighter blue up towards the back of the airbox is a lovely colour.
Oh, interesting.
And the Duracell battery on the airbox is kind of
It's iconic at this point, isn't
a
it?
classic that they've kind of just continued with, and I'm not going on the bias of whether they've done that the year before or not. I'm just going with what's on this year's design, and that purely.
Right.
There's only a couple of minor things that I probably would have done better is a bit more colour through the two blues and kind of blend that in a bit better. But other than that,
They've sort of gone for that fade type of
yeah,
look.
yeah. Other than that, I quite liked it.
So I will start off by saying I love the Duracell, and it's probably almost my favourite little design aspect on any of the Formula One cars. I think it's cool. And I've already said that Williams is going to be my team for 2025.
Is there a but here or?
I've gone a 6 out of 10.
Ooh.
And I don't like the light blue. It's not it.
Oh.
My first reaction was that blue's not it.
Ooh.
6 out of 10. It's, I can deal with it, but not a fan.
Not a fan?
Nah.
Of your
So I've got to look at that shit and support that team. It's not it.
That's what you're rooting for.
Whew. Yeah.
What would you do differently?
I'm not much of a design man, so it's hard to say, but I was more of a fan of last year's livery than this year. I'll say that.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Bit more of that.
Maybe they'll change it and go, we need to be light, so let's make it all carbon fibre and just put our sponsors on there.
Well, that's a high possibility for a few of these teams. I think that's what pretty well happened with Alpine last year. That's why they got roasted so much, was they released a livery that all the fans went pretty crazy over, loved it. But their front wing failed a crash test. So then, because they had to redesign it and reinforce the wing, essentially.
They become weight conscious.
Yeah, they had to cut back all their weight because they had to go back to last year's wing, and
Ooh, that hurts.
Shaved off all the paint.
I'd love to say I was sad about that, but not an Alpine man myself. Love to see him back there.
Right.
Especially when Ocon was there.
Oh, don't start that again.
Oh, fucking Ocon.
V-carb.
Okay. V-carb, RB. Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
They've switched things up a bit. They've gone from more like the nod to the Toro Rosso days and gone for all white.
Complete standalone sort of livery.
Yeah, pretty unique.
Something fresh and new.
Do you want to kick us off with your thoughts on that one?
I love it. 9 out of 10. I love it. Sexy.
Ooh.
The white works. I've taken the best part of the Red Bull, which in my opinion is that intake, the Red Bull with the yellow background. I think that pops and it's a sick, iconic sort of setup, and it looks good on the, what do you call it, the parent car, the lead team.
Yep.
The iconic sort of Red Bull livery. It looks dope, and I think they've done an awesome job. You wouldn't think on paper that the colour scheme would work if you said all white.
Yep.
But for me, I love it. What about you?
I have gone an 8 out of 10.
So also a fan.
Also a pretty big fan. I was debating whether to go a 9. I love the white and just a bit more unique and like you said, the iconic yellow and red.
The white's going to stand out in track too.
Yeah, it will. It will, and that's what I'm loving so far. Is that a lot of the teams are quite different, so they should be pretty identifiable on the track,
which is cool.
But yeah, maybe just a little bit too much kind of colours going on. There's a bit of splashes of green for the cash apps, and not really a fan of the way the little bulls fade in at the back there near the wing behind the airbox. Kind of goes from big bulls to little bulls, and there's like thousands of bloody bulls on there. I don't know.
Not it? You don't like it?
No, it just looks a little weird, in my opinion. Yeah, that's why it's an 8. But 8's obviously still
took a few little points off for that.
Yeah, still quite a high number.
Good score. All right, next vehicle.
So next up, we have the Haas.
Oh, the Haas. Let me fire away on the Haas.
Rightio.
I looked at the design.
Yep.
And there's an image going around where they have the 2025 car next to the 2024 car.
Yep.
And they just inverted the colours from last year. It's boring.
Oh.
You've got a pretty boring sort of colour scheme. All neutral sort of tones. 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Do better, Haas.
Shit.
Just do better. You can't invert the colours and then go, oh, look, it's sick. No, that's it. I'm not talking about Haas anymore. That's it.
I thought we weren't having the biased opinion of whatever happened last year.
Haas is shit.
Well,
they need to
mood.
They need to bloody do something more than that. You can't just invert the colours and go, yeah, call her a day.
Well, let's lighten the mood. No. I think it's fantastic. I think it's an 8 out of 10.
Unbelievable. 8 out of 10.
I like it. I like the kind of white, silvery look with the red and the black. I don't know. It works.
Tickles your fancy.
It just works well together. And the MoneyGram logos and their other sponsors fit in the colour scheme, unlike a lot of the other teams. Yeah, they just seem to have black and red or white sponsors and logos that just looks great. I don't know if they've gotten that variant off their sponsor or if that's just coincidence, but no, I like it. And side note, their race suits and seeing Bam in an Ocon, especially Ocon looks like he's where he belongs.
Can't say I've seen the race suits or the drivers in them yet, so I'll be keen to check that out. Yeah, but on a side note, about time we start disagreeing on a few things. All our predictions and stuff pretty much Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, just took a few colours.
And now a few colours and she's on. we got some disagreements. I like it.
Bloody oath we do.
All right, Alpine. We might as well move on to them, considering they're next up.
They are.
Go for it.
So my view for Alpine is a 7 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
rated it.
I'm having a few technical difficulties here trying to get back to me bloody photos. Pain in the ass.
I've got a 6, so we're not too far off on this one. But my opinion off the rip was I don't like the pink BWT on the side. It's not doing it for me. And there's a bit too much pink on the front wing. It's also, not a massive lover of it.
Yeah, so I liked that blue to start with. That blue is my all-time favourite. That's absolutely nailed.
I'll make this blue. He's frothing it.
That blue. Whew,
calm down, mate. Calm down.
It's doing things for me. And obviously the pink is part of their branding and it's quite iconic. So it's quite. I like seeing the pink in there, and it creates that separation from the other teams. You know, it almost becomes like that pink car again.
I think I'd like to see like more pink, not as in coverage on the car, but just like more of a vibrant pink, a bit more hot pink. The sort of, well, from these pictures that I'm seeing here, it's a bit sort of like pastel.
Yeah.
Just a bit more of a pop, maybe. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's
No
where
designer.
it's got to come back to the logo, like the BWT's pink themselves. I think that's kind of the pink. But yeah, that in last year's car was kind of more of a hot pink, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it had a bit more punch to it.
Yeah, imagine like a hot pink and that blue. That'd look
That'd work,
pretty
I reckon.
sexy. And a bit of black.
I like the black outline around the BWT on the side.
Yeah,
of
the logo just really makes it pop, doesn't it?
Maybe like they could potentially go even a little bit more bold with the black.
Yep.
But yeah, that's just from one image. It'd be interesting to see on track and a 360 video, get a bit more of an idea. But yeah, that's enough about Alpine. I don't want to keep talking about them.
Right. Aston Martin.
Here we go.
I went a 6 out of 10, and I may have been a bit lenient, but that's what I've gone with.
Well, I've pretty much rated them every number between 1 and 10. And
yeah, it did take you about 5 minutes to settle on.
I couldn't make my mind up. And I've settled. I've got a 7 written down, but I'm going to change it to a 6 because it's not a 7.
Yeah.
I love the green. The British Racing green is a sexy colour, and that car has the potential to be the best looking car on the grid. And I think last year it almost was. I love the design they had last year.
Yeah, and it almost had like that, what do you call it, kind of like chameleon sparkle kind of effect, like it slightly changed colour through light. But this one here,
too much black.
Yeah, it just feels a bit abrupt. Like it just goes green, black.
Too sharp.
Yeah. Like there's no real transition. I think the colour's a bit flat. I don't know. It just doesn't really pop for me.
I just think you've got an amazing colour to work with, an iconic colour, and there's just no need to have half the car in black. Nah, not it.
To me, it feels like they're just trying to hold out until Newey gets involved, and they've just got their splash of colour on top, and then just all kind of black and carbon.
I've changed my mind. It's a 5. It's a 5.
7 before.
Started on a 7.5, and if we keep talking, it's going to keep getting lower and lower. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom in a bit more on the photo, but it's hard to tell. But I think that might just be all carbon fibre on the bottom.
Let's move on to the next car before I end up rating them a 1. Ugh.
Rightio. Let's see if I can get to the Mercedes.
Mercedes then. All right, off the rip. 8 out of 10 for me. I think the Mercedes is clean.
Yep.
It's just, you can't go wrong. It's just iconic. The only part of the vehicle that stood out to me that I wasn't a massive lover of is that silver intake. Almost seems like it's a little bit of an afterthought, like they've just sort of slapped it on up there.
Worse than when it was the red Ineos last year?
I think I like the red better.
Really? I thought it sticked out like a sore thumb.
I think that silver does. Like it's just sort of...
Well, I heard a few rumours that Ineos was... Like it was a toss-up whether they were actually going to sponsor or whatever, and it was a last-minute kind of withdrawal. So
that could
they
explain.
just kind of pulled the sponsor off.
That could explain why they got the silver intake if they've had to pull the sponsor to just cover it up.
Slap the colour there.
Because it does look like an afterthought to me. Like it's just the rest of the car sort of flows nicely, and then you just get this silver intake. Like, oh yeah, there we go, that'll do.
But the for me, that's probably one of the main reasons why I deducted a couple of points off
and gave it a.
Oh, didn't I say? I also gave it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, all right, nice.
Yeah, to me, it's just that sleek, stealthy, black and dark grey, and the silver arrows on there, the nod to the AMG, and that like turquoisey
sort of blue.
What do they call it? Do they call it teal?
I don't know. I haven't heard them refer to it. You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
It's sort of like mean. It's a mean looking car.
It is, isn't it?
And you could almost say that like it almost looks like the villain on the track.
Yeah.
I can see that and especially when you see some of the older footage of, well, I say older footage, only a couple of years old, but Verstappen and Hamilton battling on track.
Yeah.
And some of those liveries, it's like the Merc looked like the villain in the battles.
Yeah. It just looked
menacing
and like a championship winning car, didn't it? Like,
yeah, look relentless.
If you just sat those 10 cars on the track, especially back then, I reckon 9 out of 10 people would point to it and go, that's the winning car.
They just gravitate towards that sort of design.
Yeah.
It's lovely. And talking about all those lovely things, battles, relentless, winning cars, we'll move on to Red Bull. Seem to have a history of being up there and at 'em.
So Red Bull is one of the big ones. I'm trying not to use the thoughts of what they've been on previous years.
Well, I think as long as you're not expecting them to reinvent the wheel year upon year, it's not a big issue. I think where Haas pissed me off was because they didn't really put any effort in and just inverted the colours and then called her a day.
Yeah, well, I liked Haas, so I can't comment. Red Bull, I gave a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, I've got an 8.
But I'm considering whether I should have gone an 8.
So the Red Bull essentially hasn't changed from last year.
No.
But it's an iconic colour scheme.
Debate whether it's really changed at all.
It pretty much hasn't changed for years. I don't know when they first debuted this livery, but it's a sick livery. The bull on the intake's just clean. The pop of colour, it all works. It's iconic. You know exactly what car you're looking at.
Yeah.
If it's not broken, you know, why fix it?
Yeah, I think maybe my 7 was a bit harsh.
Personally, I'm a big fan of the Red Bull livery.
8. I'm going 8. It's an 8. The only kind of reason I was downgrading was like the merge of the colours are pretty good, but like the dark blue to the like carbon fibre, it just seems to kind of get lost a bit. Like there's not really that pop. Like I think I'd rather to see that blue a bit brighter. Like if I think, because if essentially the Red Bull car is their Red Bull can on a car, and that's how it is across bikes.
Well, it's their standard livery across all sports, whatever they sponsor.
Yeah. But I think that is just getting a bit too carbon fibre-y. It's starting to merge too much to just...
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the cars actually look like when they come out and track and how much paint they put on, how much carbon fibre they run. But I just love the dark colour of 85, 90% of the vehicle and then the pop of the bright red and the yellow.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to mistake what car that is with the bright yellow and red.
Nah.
Especially on the airbox there. But
and I mean, I'm not a Red Bull man by any stretch of the imagination, but I can appreciate a tidy livery. All right, now we go to the top 2. We'll go to our good mates over there at Ferrari.
Our good mates.
And I'm going to preface before I give my review of this livery that deep down, I think I've finally realised that deep down I am a Ferrari man.
Oh.
Even though I'm going for Williams this year, I am a Ferrari man. I've got a soft spot for Ferrari.
Okay. Maybe this is going a different direction.
I think when the push comes to shove, I'm going to want them to do some damage at the top of the table.
Yep.
But when it comes to reviewing this livery, what the fuck were you thinking? Oh my God. Are they employing blind people to do the liveries now?
Whoa.
No, that might be a little bit harsh. But why is there a massive white stripe down the side of the car? Why? It looks ridiculous. And before I go on about that anymore, it's not even Ferrari red.
No.
They've just gone, oh yeah, we'll go dark red.
No.
What?
It's more like a cherry red now than... Like, Ferrari red is its own colour.
It's bright. It pops. It stands out. It's
Yeah.
one of those liveries like some of the others that we've mentioned that you don't need to change year upon year because it's got its own trademark. It stands out. It's perfect the way it is.
Yep.
Play around with your sponsors a little bit, however you want that to lay out in the car. But it's dark red and it's got a big white stripe down the side of it. Ugh.
Yeah, I think
Not it.
from what I've heard, from what I've heard, it must be to do with HP being like
I don't care if they give them $1 billion a year. That's just
title sponsor.
Nah.
That they've just had more control over how their logo was represented. But
Well, now I hate HP. So it hasn't worked well, has it?
nah.
Every time I see one of their products, I'm going to...
My rating was a 6 out of 10. What was yours?
Well, it was a 4, but now that I've looked at it more, it's really... I've gone a 3.
Oh,
It's just not...
ouch. Worse than the Sauber.
Oh, you can't...
Worse than carbon fibre and Flovis paint.
And I think side by side with the Sauber, it's probably better looking, but I just know what it could look like, and it's just not. We need to wrap this up. Let's get on McLaren. I'm getting upset over here.
He's getting all worked up. He's twitching. He's sweating. You can probably hear the big huffs.
Do better, Ferrari. Do better.
Far out. He's not happy.
I bet Carlos looks at that car and goes, thank God they got rid of me. I wouldn't want to be seen in that piece of shit.
What is this? This is not a car. This is a piece of shit.
Just a little shout out to our little outro. That's from Netflix. That's not from Netflix. Anyone that's listening with trademark. That's nothing. Nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, Netflix.
Carry on.
Don't come after us.
All right, the McLaren.
McLaren championship title, reigning champions.
Get it out, mate. Come on.
Championship.
Add a few more words in there. Car championship win, good.
good team.
Gold medal win.
Me love
front.
Champion.
Most point
drivers.
cut good. That sums up McLaren fans for you.
Hey. You're going to say that.
Well, look, they haven't changed a whole lot from last year, and I think they've got every right to keep it the same. It's a nice, clean look.
Yep.
The papaya, as they call it, the orange pops. Nice mix between the black and the orange. Super clean. Construct a winning vehicle from last year. Why not keep it running, go back to back, make this livery iconic?
Rating?
8 out of 10.
I also went an 8 out of 10 for similar reasons.
You just can't really fault it.
The orange/papaya works very well together, especially it's like that deep, like burnt orange. Sponsors all look pretty great. The Google Chrome is a really hard one to work into it, and I think the wheels are still a very clever idea.
Yeah, I love those wheels. Look great.
Yeah, and no doubt there's a bit of carbon fibre within that black there that you can't really see in the studio lights, but yeah, championship winning car.
Keep it as is.
Yeah, create that iconic car. Hopefully they win a few more. And
well, I think at McLaren, what they've done well is this car looks better with less of their iconic colour on it than what it did when, a few years back when it was a majority of that colour.
Yeah.
Like, they've just done well to make it pop, but it's not just pop by making the whole car bright orange.
Yeah, well, there was one of their cars, 2019 or something, I think it was, and it was the papaya with, this disgusting big blue stripe on it.
What's going on? This man loved blue.
It was horrendous. It just didn't work. I love blue, but it's got to work.
Yeah.
And it was like a kind of paley mid blue. It didn't. Yeah. No.
This design's fantastic. You can't fault it.
It is. All
right.
So that's
wraps
the review. To recap, do you want to run back through them real quick?
No, I'm not saying some of those reviews again. You
No, just the ratings. Just the ratings. Come on. Give our listeners what they want. Let's do a quick review.
Sauber 5, yeah. Williams.
Sauber 4. Williams, what do you have?
I can't remember. I think it's 5.
Well, have you got it there or not?
Yeah, but I changed a few on the fly.
Oh, that's right.
I think I had 6 maybe.
Oh,
RB was a solid 9 out of 10.
Williams, I had 9. RB, I had 8.
Alpine, I think I went 5.
This is terrible. Why write them down and then fucking change them on the fly all the time?
I just want to get a good look at them. You know, sometimes you realise that you've gone too easy on some of these teams.
I can't remember if I changed any on the fly now that I'm mouthing off. Only Red Bull, but I've got that one covered. Anyway, V-Carb. Haas, I had 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 4.
Alpine, I had 7 out of 10.
I think I went 5.
Aston had 6 out of 10.
Yeah, 6.
Mercedes had 8 out of 10.
Same.
Red Bull 8.
Yep.
Ferrari 6.
Ferrari's a 1 now.
McLaren 8.
8 for McLaren.
Right. So my highest, so taking the cake for me, was Williams with a 9 out of 10.
Oh.
Who was your
RB's a 9 out of 10 for me.
RB for you? I think that was a fan favourite.
RB, very nice. Sexy.
And my lowest was the Sauber with the Flovies for 4 out of 10.
Mine lowest was Ferrari with minus 300 right now and dropping by the second.
Stop looking at it.
And on that note, box.
Box. You fucking stitched me up. Time to retire today's episode. Thanks for joining us. If you've enjoyed the show, hit like or follow and share it with another F1 fan. You've been the best, and we've been the rest.
Cheers, legends.
See you later.
Oh, look at this. This is not a dog. This is a piece of shit.